Hey, what's up guys? Soldier knows best there. So what makes the iPhone 11 Pro a great phone? Well, it's because Apple simply focused on two core things of any smartphone, and that is the battery and the cameras. The cameras and the battery. And to me, these are the two things that I hear people complaining about the most. Well, with the cameras, they just kind of want to know what's the best camera out there on a smartphone. But with the battery, you always hear people saying that their battery keeps dying or they can't make it through an entire day without having to charge it. And what Apple did with the iPhone 11 and the 11 Pro is say, hey, okay, we're not gonna have one slam dunk new feature inside of this phone that's just gonna blow everybody away, but we're gonna make a phone that gets the basics right. And when you talk about the battery simply in the iPhone 11 Pro, I think was a big reason why a lot of people had an issue with the Pixel 4. And that's because a lot of us reviewers, we were using the iPhone 11 or the 11 Pro before the Pixel 4 came out. And when we switched to that phone, you just noticed that there was a gap in battery performance where I was going from being able to use the iPhone 11 Pro Max from sun up to sundown without having to charge it, where in the Pixel 4, because I was using it heavily, I just wasn't able to get that same type of performance. But I have to say that with the iPhone 11 Pro Max, you find that you have a battery that comes in right under 4,000 milliamps. So it's not the biggest battery compared to some other phones out there. But what Apple did great with this phone is really optimize the performance with the hardware and the software. And that's important because you can have a big battery, but if the software is just draining and keeps draining that battery over time, what's the point in having that? So with iOS 13, I don't really find myself having to make any adjustments. And I mean, turning off Wi-Fi or Bluetooth when I leave the house, or turning down my brightness throughout the day, or just using auto brightness. I keep my brightness up on my phone over 80% throughout the day, and I'm still getting fantastic battery life. And then when you move on to the cameras, they've added the ultra wide camera on the iPhone 11. And if you do get the 11 Pro models, you get that telephoto as well. And I mean, for the last few years, the iPhone has always had that perfect 1-2 punch when it comes to the cameras. It's not always going to be the best when it comes to photos, but they usually are the best when it comes to videos. So together you have a really good complete camera system. And even though personally I like the look of the photos that come out of the Pixel 4, and because I take most of my pictures in portrait mode, especially of other products that I post on my Instagram that I'm using, the Pixel 4 just really nails it for me in that category. But the iPhone clearly outshines the Pixel 4 and pretty much everybody else when it comes to video. And the quality is up to the point where you can use this as a replacement for even a main camera. Like I use the Sony a7 III, but sometimes I just use the camera on the iPhone 11 Pro to get a lot of B-roll shots, and it looks great whether it's on a gimbal or not. And then you got my boy Jonathan Morrison, who I consider to be the Christopher Nolan of tech videos, but he actually recorded an entire music video using just the iPhone 11, not the Pro, but just the iPhone 11, and the quality was just fantastic. So there's a lot of things you can do with the video capabilities, including the new multi-camera support that's built into iOS 13, and this will allow you to be able to use apps like Filmic Pro, which in a future update will allow you just to really take control of your video by being able to preview multiple different cameras at the same time. And then you can also record up to 2 cameras at the same time and just have all of those different controls at your fingertips. Or you can use an app right now that's available, like I use Jimmy, I think that's how you pronounce it. But this app allows you to record with 2 cameras, like your front-facing camera and a rear-facing camera, and it gives you a lot of different split view angles. And then you have one that puts you in a little bubble that you can move around the screen. And then they also have a cool one that adds this green screen effect, so it actually overlays you using the front-facing camera onto what the rear-facing camera sees. And so yes, I do know that this feature has been available on some Android phones over the last few years. I think I remember using it for the first time on like the LG V20, I think. But yes, it's finally coming to iOS, or it's actually already on iOS 13. So it's a good win for iOS users. But look, I'm not gonna keep this video going on too long. This is just really trying to highlight where I think the two core things that all smartphone makers need to be focusing on. Yeah, it's good to have some of these other features that are unique and make your phone kind of stand out a little bit more, but you need to nail the basics, and that's going to be the camera and the battery. And so even though I'm gushing over these core things, I still think Apple has to really bring it in 2020 though, because I think it's gonna be a crazy year for smartphones with more foldable phones like the Motorola Razr, and then maybe a follow-up to the Galaxy Fold. And of course, other companies are gonna be working on different devices. And then you have the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 platform, which is gonna be crazy for Android phones. Apple's gonna really have to bring it, but I think they have a really good base with the battery and the cameras right now on the iPhone 11, and they just need to continue that and also bring some other slam dunk features. But anyway, these are just my thoughts. What do you think? Leave your comment down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And like always, I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.